Everybody, welcome back. Northernlion plays The Binding of Isaac. Lucky 13 wins in a row. Feeling good today. It is a new day. And I'm feeling good. Yo, EQ7X 6XER. This run starts with a modest degree of spice. Just because. Damage not so good. Bombs amazing. Damage not so good. However, Sack Dagger is like both the best item and the worst item you can start with. It does so much damage, but on the other hand, also invites so much damage due to my own hubris. We must be careful and considered in our use of it. And by that, I mean use it non-stop and indiscriminately. I wonder if Box of Friends doubles the finger. I doubt it does, but, hey, stop it. I doubt it does, but if it does, it doesn't even make that big of a difference. It's mostly just, you know, something I'm concerning myself with on the theoretical level, and that's okay. I think we definitely, in this situation, prefer to yoink. I prefer to yoink if possible. Just want to yoink. Snip, snip. I want to yoink it off. That's not so bad. I prefer to buy a Spirit Heart, is what I was going to say. Rather than save for an arcade that may or may not ever apply. I think we will try this, and that's a huge bust, I'll admit. However, it could have also been a huge boon. We're happy to get this regardless. Anyway, I am indeed, I'm doing well. Today is Canadian Thanksgiving. It does double the finger. I can see the drop shadow. I think. I can see your mana. Today is Canadian Thanksgiving. But the days are all kind of like up in a tizzy. Thanks to, you know, having a 12-day-old child. But compared to the, you know, the night before, where I was a little bit delirious after a night of pretty bad sleep, I'm actually doing real well today. I'm feeling good. Had a relatively decent sleep last night, as decent as one could. Incredible. As decent as one could realistically oh no. You get out of there. You piece. Given the circumstances, of course, immediately upon wasting all of our bombs, we got our first Tinted Rock after 17 rooms of waiting. Oh well. Luckily, the run is quite good regardless. Is it a kick in the teeth? Yeah. But, you know, just remember, in all likelihood, that Tinted Rock will contain nothing of value regardless. It'll contain, like, you know, a single golden chest we won't be able to open. So, you know, when you think of it that way, it softens the blow a little bit. This floor is kind of a bust right now, but the deal with the devil could make it all come to pass. I think we take this, and, I mean, of course we take that, but we take damage as well. And then you do want to use Sack Dagger here. Just want to be very careful about the way that you set it up. Honestly, very, very happy with this so far. Beautiful. Surgical. Spirit Heart, maybe? Good trinket. No Spirit Heart. No good trinket. Judgment's kind of interesting, though. This is a big moment. I will say, and it's a bit spiced, I think you take Void here, even though I don't respect it, and I left that behind by design for the record, but even though I don't respect it, I think it's better than Box of Friends. The question more so is it worth the HP we lost? I'm gonna suggest the answer is likely yes. But then, like, this is what we're looking for, is being able to get stat upgrades out of nothing at all. Judgment. So I want to see if this... Oh, no. You got a 2 of diamonds. You got a 2 of diamonds you can get to pay out first. I know the shop is also valuable here. Don't get me wrong. Excuse me? But we can really make something happen with the Void play here. Acid Baby is not even that bad. But I do think that we'd probably be happier to get a stat upgrade out of it. It depends what the stat upgrade is, but Even the worst stat upgrade, I think, is about equivalent to Acid Baby, but we do want to see if we can get a little bit more money first. That's actually extremely great. I will use my last bomb to just be completely foolish, but actually getting no is not that bad. A little bit uneven today, let's be realistic, but we're getting there. What do you got for me? Bum Friend, that's 2 big gets, and a really nice Tears upgrade. A very nice Tears upgrade, no doubt about that. Now, I just wanted a Spirit Heart. With that not being plausible, we'll get the heck out of town. We will get the heck out of town. This is really good, honestly. In spite of the lack of HP we've got right now, I think we... Yikes. I think we did some good things there, we did some bad things there, but that's to be expected. Alright, just keep these moving. We're feeling good. I would love to see, like, the Relic. If we can't get the Relic, it's fine. Just any defensive item would go a long way. So I know you're like, oh, that's, I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it, dude. I know what everybody's asking. They're all asking, and I hate to leave you waiting in bated breath. Where are you at in the Lord of the Rings trilogy? I'm happy you asked. I was able to complete the 2 towers yesterday. I still do not, if you asked me to write an essay about what the 2 towers are, I would not know. I think maybe one has got to be Isengard, right? Like, Isengard factors quite heavily into the plot of the 2 towers. What's the other one? Is it can't really be Minas Tirith. And don't let it, Dan, get you twisted up. That's the way it's pronounced. Minas Tirith. That's the way it's pronounced. It's not Minas Tirith, okay? That's Daniel's pronunciation. Messing with you. We will take an orbital, of course. Because that doesn't factor in until the 3rd movie, but maybe it factors in the book. It's been a long time since I read them. I mean, if they could move Shelob to the 3rd movie, they could do anything, right? Maybe it's Barad-dûr, the tower Sauron's eye operates from. I don't know. Anyway, I'm about 2/3 the way through Return of the King at this point. They just had the very famous I am no man scene, which is completely different, by the way, than Macbeth. Original content, do not steal, no copyright infringement intended. Still, don't get me wrong, great movie. I'm not trying to flex and be like, well, if I were Tolkien, I simply wouldn't rely on classic tropes, you know? I'm just having a laugh. We're just memeing it up, okay? It's just bants, lads. Hope you guys are doing well as well. Again, baby anecdotes are pretty much, you know, they're on the low side right now. The baby, she sleep, she eat, and boy do she eat. And then she poop and pee. You know how it goes. Nothing much to say. Pretty much, you know, people thought it was going to be an anecdote-rich time. And I do think it is. But some of the anecdotes I keep away out of privacy. I will say, we have like the battle of the in-laws right now. My mom, bless her heart, she's, and I mean bless her heart in the real way, not the disingenuous way you say to somebody you're upset with. She has given us essentially no parenting advice. And I mean that in a good way. Like, the parenting advice, this is not a joke. The parenting advice my mom gave me was like almost spiritual. It was like, let her believe that the world can be magical as long as it's possible. You know, it's the kind of stuff that would bring a tear to your eye. Yesterday was the second time we'd seen Kate's parents since we brought the baby home. And immediately Kate's mom was like, you should be using formula. Don't let the baby sit like this. Let the baby go like this. You know, the baby should... And of course, I don't know what's happening because all this is like in Korean. But then, you know, I get told about it later. And I don't want to put any, you know, any shame on Kate's mom for that. I think it's just 2 different styles. But I will say that there was like a moment where Kate's mom, I guess, was like, isn't the baby cold? And Kate was like, no, she's not cold. She's like a human battery. Don't worry. We take her temperature all the time. We make sure it's acceptable in here. And then she's like, no, I think she's cold. So she put a blanket on the baby, like a little cloth on the baby. Then we ate lunch. I looked over like 2 minutes later, and somehow the cloth had ended up like directly over the baby's face. And I was like, oh, and I got up and like, you know, took the cloth off. Because this is a potentially dangerous situation, right? Obviously. But I gotta pick the cloth off. The baby was fine. But I was like, man, oh man. We almost had a situation there that would have been incendiary. You know, the backseating is one thing. When you backseat the parenting and then it ends up with the child, you know, suffering a lack of oxygen for any length of time, that's the sort of one. Let me put it this way. We're all happy that the situation resolved the way it did, and hopefully it'll be a learning lesson. I guess I'm not trying to put any negativity on Kate's mom here. It's just, you know, someone's got to lose in the anecdote wars, I guess. It's funny, like, you know, Kate read so many baby books and watched, like, a ton of videos and stuff in advance of, you know, the baby's birth. And, you know, we're up to date on the modern parenting advice. What's funny is that people, like, that don't have kids and have never thought about parenting at all, except, like, how do I get my baby to shut up on a plane? That's what I gotta concern myself with. They'll say things like, oh, you're worrying about it too much. Why are you worried? Come on, humans have been having babies for, like, billions of years. And I said it, as well. I hate to do it because it's like, oh god, it's like such a colossal burn that I only like to use it in massively proportional situations. But people will really be like, does anybody else think that it's weird that they're doing this? And then, you know, they'll spend 1,000 hours like looking at guides for how to build the best PoE character. Like, you care more about your digital child than you think people should care about their human spawn. Anyway, I'll tell you how to build the best PoE character. Just put your credit card number in. Sorry, no, that's Genshin Impact. My mistake. Okay, hold on. We need to focus here for a minute, 'cause this could get mildly dangerous, if not more than mildly dangerous. This half Spirit Heart's doing a lot of work right now. It's carrying the run right now, much like Ewan McGregor carried the prequels with his portrayal of Obi-Wan Kenobi. We don't even really want to suck that one up, honestly. But, it's fun, like, when my mom comes over, she'll be like, oh, that's funny. Like, so kids are supposed to sleep on their back nowadays. Like, when we had you, the conventional wisdom was you always let kids sleep on their stomach. And me and Kate were both like, first off, yikes. But secondly, okay, sure. We need this in a big way, by the way. We probably should have blown up the, or used 2 of diamonds would have also been fine. We should have done anything, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but we do still have 2 of diamonds, so just give this one a minute. There's some stuff you can glean from this. But when Kate's mom comes over, she's taken her, like, child wisdom from the late 80s and the early 1990s and being like, why are you doing it like this? You should do it like this. And we're like, you're not up on the scientific literature, ma'am, in the way that we are. Okay, 2 of diamonds. Grab the Spirit Heart. I don't think we need that. I don't remember what that is. So let's not worry about it. Can't be that good. Now, do we want to suck this stuff up? I don't know what happens if you void. That strikes me as potentially deleterious. Maybe we'll just leave. We want to buy the Spirit Heart, though. Hold on. Yeah, brain was feeling a little fuzzy there. I was like, you're missing something on this one. 5.8 luck stat, huh? Now that's something, dude. Bigger than a horse's. I like the sound of that. Ooh, okay, 1 guppy item away. We don't get to be guppy that often anymore. This would be a nice little twist of fate, like Bob Dylan off of Blood on the Tracks. Okay. You can look it up. I don't remember. I think it's track 2. Honestly, I'm not here for it. Blood on the Tracks track listing. I know that 1 is Tangled Up in Blue. No. Blood on the Track. Blood on the Tracks track list. Track 1, Tangled Up in Blue. Track 2, Simple Twist of Fate. Oh, dude. Track 3, You're a Big Girl Now. That's not really my favorite song on the album, but track 4, Idiot Wind. Oh, When Bob Dylan gets a little unhinged, oh baby. Call the Rolling Thunder Review. Anyway, so that's our anecdote, is that my mother-in-law, via stubbornness, accidentally put the baby in, like, maybe not mortal danger, but a situation. Here's the thing, when it's your kid, it activates a different part of you. Anyway, lessons learned all around. I understand, and this is what I'm realizing, by the way, is like, we're oversharing right now. I've said before, like, we don't want to share it. And I definitely am still in that camp. Like, I definitely don't want to, you know, make vlogs of like, oh, it's her first word, look at her poop consistency today, and like that stuff. Especially, like, all newborns, like, our newborn is the cutest, but all newborns are kind of generic, right? They're all just, you know, I'm not gonna say you've seen one baby, you've seen them all, but it's kind of like, you know, a character creator in an RPG from the late 1990s. It's like, okay, there's like 6 babies. Fair enough. However, I don't really like Zodiac, dude. I mean, the movie, sure, but the item, not so much. You know, as they get older, you know, privacy becomes much more of a concern, without a doubt. Because they become like human beings. Like, all babies are kind of, I mean, they're like, taxonomically speaking, they're Homo sapiens, but they're like, you know, they're really just like kind of an organic, like, bioreactor, really. That being said, you know, we're in that new parent bubble right now, where like so much of our day is, I mean, so much of our lives really is kind of wrapped up in this child that we've been sharing a little bit. And what I should have known but did not necessarily anticipate is that we don't even want that, dude. I didn't even mean to place that. The back seating is funny, like, because other parents give helpful tips. They say things like, and by the way, if this is about to be at your expense, just own it, is my advice. But other parents or people that have current newborns or toddlers, they're like, hey, you know, we also struggled with this, and we also had a fun time with this, try this. And we're like, you know what, that's great advice. Some of the back seating that comes from gamers is like, why would you ever do this? This is insane. Delete this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, man, why would you take a break from retweeting NVIDIA's official Twitter account to win a video card to, like, be mad about something you clearly have no expertise in? It's just, you gotta be careful. I know, like, you thought that the gatekeeper of social media was permanently offline. Maybe you got used to it. I'm coming back, baby. There's a couple of Reddit posts that I'm biting my tongue on, but I'll rest assured, I sent it to the Discord and we all had a mighty good laugh. Oh, we all had a mighty good laugh and said, look at this weirdo. Why did it's just one of those things, I don't know, we probably shouldn't have even picked this one up. It's not even bad yet, so I don't want to act like, oh, it's like, this is madness. I don't know why you would stand there. This is Sparta, by the way. It's not even so bad right now that it's like weighing on us at all. It's just one of those things that is like, as the systems of Northernlion Incorporated start to come back online, you start to remember, like, oh right, I'm kind of like begrudgingly a public figure, and people that really should not care about this stuff for some reason care about it a great deal. And then you gotta remember, like, oh, that's right. You know, everything I put out there is open to criticism. Some of that criticism is fair, but a lot of it comes from a position of, like, you know, I have no experience in this, but here's my incredibly, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Draconian. There you go. It's my, I don't have any kids myself, but I would like to think that if I had kids, I would simply raise them to simply live by a code. If they ever deviated from me, I would punish them henceforth. You know, it's like they learn how to raise their kids from Kingdom of Heaven or something like that. And you know, I'm aware of the fact, by the way, it's one of those things. You know, people sometimes will be like, "Why would you complain? You know, complaining's not going to change anything." Yeah, you know, you complain about the fact that it's raining when you want to go to the beach. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen next time. It's just you're like, ah, that kind of stinks. I'm aware of the fact that, to be honest with you, it's probably just going to get worse. Because a newborn is really like, you know, people are only like, you know, aren't they cold? Aren't they hungry? No, they've eaten too much, you know, blah, blah, blah. But the, you know, as they get older and older, there's going to be way more opinions about it. But it's just, the other thing that's interesting is like, and this is a healthy thing, I think. It's a good thing. You know, I've long been a proponent that one of the reasons that streamers and YouTubers get, like, disproportionately burnt out with, like, reactions to their content and, like, anonymous comments and stuff like that. I mean, let me just first take their side and say that a lot of anonymous feedback is quite unfair, I think, and people always assume the worst about people in almost every circumstance, anonymously online. And then, you know, on top of that, and there's no way to say this without it sounding rude, but, like, I think we're just gonna leave here. It wasn't that long ago we were on very low HP. As a streamer, if you have a certain size audience, you kind of become like a focusing ray for other people's problems. And I don't even just mean like, you know, oh, people that are like miserable are gonna try to make you miserable as well. I mean, like, literally you'll have like, you know, dozens to hundreds of people coming into your chat a day being like, here's like my problems. And it can get to you. So like, is it fair to ask that of someone that is, you know, has some degree of fame merely for cracking jokes while playing The Binding of Isaac? I don't know. Maybe we disagree. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But it is part of the job that's, you know, not going anywhere. But then secondarily, to be one of those cool streamers again, who's like, I'm not like other streamers, I'm a cool streamer. I think that one of the reasons that, like, it happens is, you know, if all you do in your life is, like, stream, which describes a lot of streamers, even myself at times, your world becomes, you know, about the size of your middle monitor. And as a result, like, some person you've never met before being rude to you can ruin your day. Whereas, like, if you had a lot of stuff going on, you'd probably be like, shut up, loser, and then just go on living, right? And I think that's kind of like, I mean, shut up, loser is probably not the nicest way to approach it. But that's kind of how I feel right now. Is like, you know, when I had less going on, we lost a lot of HP there, by the way. Let's not do that in the future. When I had no stuff going on, any bit of anonymous feedback would get to me a little bit, or even like pseudo-anonymous feedback. Now that, like, I'm the steward for the life of another human being, I'm like, come on, man. I changed like 11 diapers today. You really think I'm gonna let, you know, one name plus 9 numbers get in my head because they're like, I think, you know, his butt is stinky. You know, it's just, you know, I'll do my best to be the change I want to see in the world on that one. So that's my thoughts on that. I will say, and I know how people, you're going to be able to misinterpret this. And I want to be clear that I'm arguing from a position of good faith. I am not one of those guys who's like, shut up and dribble. And if I ever was, I'm not anymore. So like, if you want to talk politics or, you know, whatever, I would never suggest stay in your lane. However, I came up with a rule for social media that has helped me out a great deal. In terms of like what to ignore and what to pay attention to. Or what, not ignore, but like, you know, what to give more credence to. If somebody's feed is 98% politics, 2% other stuff, you're a human being. I'll pay attention to you. If, except for your interactions with me, your feed is 100% politics, I say no. And I know that I'm really not suggesting, like, don't tweet about politics. You know, if, I mean, I don't even want to say if. I don't even know if we should pick this up. Maybe we should just eat it, take our stats and go. But, like, the number of times that, you know, I look at somebody and they just reply to me with something that's, like, kind of rude, and then I look at their feed and it's literally, like, months and months of exclusively talking politics. I'm like, okay, I think I understand that you come to this website to get angry. That's what it is. It's not like don't talk politics. It's like I understand that you're kind of addicted to the emotion of anger, and you're not going to get your supply off me, junkie. Go somewhere else. Take it to Rob's Twitter if you want to get into those kind of discussions. It really is surprising the amount of times it happens. Again, I want to be 100% clear. If you tweet about politics 80% of the time, but then like once every 2 weeks, you're like, check out my cute cat. I'm like, that's standard. That's a normal human being in 2020, and I respect it. I think we should try one. I hate it. I do not like it. I don't think we even suck it up. But if it's literally just like me and then politics, I'm like, you're not taking any of my spiritual energy today. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not suggesting, you know, stop tweeting about politics. I'm just suggesting maybe throw in like a cute animal photo now and then, so I know that you're open to other emotions than exclusively rage. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you can learn everything about somebody from their Twitter feed, but I think you can learn everything there is to learn about how they interface with the internet via that. There's a lot of people out there, and don't get me wrong, there's stuff worth being angry about. I tweet angry stuff now and then, but sometimes I also tweet who would win in a fight, Legolas or Hawkeye, and that's how you know that I'm like a normal human being. There's moments of rage, and then there's also moments of, like, you know, dumb jokes. That's my raison d'etre, if you will. And you won't, but if you will. Oh, it's so hard to tell which enemies are enemies, which enemies are friends, dude. Looking for a tinted rock, maybe? It would not hurt. It would not hurt. And just in general, that's kind of my... I've said this many times before, to be clear, but think if your principal relationship with the internet is anger, you gotta get that into check. I think, honestly, like there's a lot going right in society right now, and there's a lot going wrong, in my opinion. But one of the things I think we'll look back on, I hope, and be like, why did we let this happen, is a little bit more abstract, you know? I think we'll look back and be like, why did I spend a decade where, like, the number one thing I went to for leisure time was something that upset me? And it's easy, like, because I do it all the time. I'm not saying I'm like better than it. You know, I'm just having some degree of consciousness about it. At least maybe makes it. You know, it's like the first step of solution is admitting you got a problem, right? But really, unconsciously, I think you're like, you know, you just get sucked in. Like the number of times I go to Twitter and then it's like, oh, the trending topic is this, and then you're like, why is this trending? And then you're like, oh, some stupid idiot said something designed to make you mad, and then you're like, no, I can't birth my daughter right now. I gotta go read all the other idiots who replied to this and get even madder. You know, like it's kind of like a short circuit of like human cognition, I feel. Like, I don't think we were designed to be angry this much, so anger has like an incredible weight for us, if that makes sense. I think it generates like a huge amplitude of response within the brain and the body. And then, you know, when it subsides, you're like, ooh, I'd like some more of that. God, it just makes me so mad. Well, let's go then. No, I can't leave yet. Somebody on the internet is wrong. Are you insane? I'm just saying. I think I've done better over the years too, and you know, it's a constant like learning process, but just, you know, trying to divorce yourself from that idea. But also, I think you can stop the problem. Let's go. You can stop the problem, you know, at its destination, which would be like a target of that stuff, which, I mean, I'm not saying I get it too bad, but it's a target nonetheless, just because of the numbers game we're talking here. But I think you can also look at it and, you know, you can stop it at its root as well. Like, are you interacting with people in a predominantly mean-spirited way? Why? I don't, and you know, like this is I'm not making too many friends with this video, but I'm just giving you my honest take. Like, I'm a compassionate individual. But sometimes, like in Twitch chat, someone will be rude, and I'll be like, why are you being rude? And they're like, because I'm miserable. And I'm like, okay, you know, so are a lot of people. I'm miserable from time to time, don't get me wrong. I gotta put on a heavy face for the job, but, you know, there's some days where I'm like, you know, I'm in like a bad mood. Doesn't give you a license to be like, you know, oh, I'm gonna be like a bad person today. Just get over it. I mean, I know it's like just get over it, forehead, but I don't know. I recognize that when people are unwell, you know, they're more likely to treat other people in such a way that it, you know, it doesn't treat them nicely. But I'm also like, I don't know. I feel like people give way too much sympathy in those situations. Like, I've been in situations like that before where you deal with somebody who's like, you know, they have their own problems, of course. You put up the scaffolding, you know, you're like, I got a lot of tolerance for being, like, in my opinion, a little bit mistreated because of what I know you're going through. But eventually you're like, you know, you had your window, like, you know, it's time to start being nice to people. I'm not just gonna be like 80 years old on my deathbed and be like, oh, don't be mean to Darren, he's got his own problems. You know, I'm gonna be like, Darren, just, Jesus Christ, drink some iced tea. It's a nice sunrise. You don't have to be like, oh yeah, but because of the depleting ozone. Just chill out, man. Anyway, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. That was a spicy win at times, but we got there. For now, thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. See ya.